Port users hoye!
Nguvu moja!
Port users hoye!
Nguvu moja!
Port users hoye!
Nguvu moja!
Tanga amekataa. Port users hoye!
Nguvu moja!
Nguvu moja!
My name is Michael Magak. I'm the convener of Coast Human Rights Network, a group of civil society organizations that fight for the rights of the people, holistic approach to fighting for the rights of the people. This is press release, Mombasa 23rd May 2025, for immediate release. The Kenya Ports Authority users, Mombasa and coast residents and the undersigned civil society groups and port users condemn in the strongest terms possible the orchestrated attack on the KPA Managing Director, the management and the board of directors by a cartel of KPA suppliers led by Mr. Visual of Power Park and Mr. Maina of Port Marine Limited and the Standard Media Group. These retrogressive forces are hell-bent on perpetuating the capture and manipulation of KPA operations, especially the tendering processes for their own selfish ends. From the outset, we want to categorically reiterate our unwavering support and confidence in the KPA management led by the managing director and the board. The team has done a marvelous job of streamlining port operations and ensuring delivery of efficient services to all players and port users and the local community. We have noted with utmost concern the sensational headline by the Standard that is imputing improper motives on the character of the KPA Managing Director, Captain William Ruto. We fully understand that the headline is orchestrated and politically motivated to tarnish the good name of the MD and disrupt the port operation by creating mistrust. We take this early opportunity to strongly warn the owners, management, and editors of Standard Media Group against sensationalism. Instead of engaging in responsible journalism and adhere to the media code of conduct as provided by the Media Council of Kenya. The Standard newspaper's sensational headlines such as KPA Billion Loot are malicious, defamatory, unprofessional, unethical, and designed to malign the good name and work of the KPMG, the entire management and the board. As port users and the local community, we know better. Yes. We can state without the fear of contradiction that the KPMD has nothing to do with the recent tribulations of the Moi family-owned farm, Kencom. Therefore, to engage in defamatory return against the MD is totally unacceptable and even actionable. The detractors of the KPA management, especially those targeting the MD, must desist from misusing Mr. Bishop and Maina of Purpose and Port Marine Limited respectively to try and disrupt the good work of the MD is doing locally and globally. We want to reiterate that we will never accept that. It is instructive that the two gentlemen, through their respective firms, have dominated and looted the spare parts business at the port for too long, using intimidation and undue influence from their powerful political godfathers. The two have controlled 80% of the spare parts business at the port for decades. In the process, they have looted hundreds of billions of public funds through tender manipulation and overpricing. Yes. A typical example of this looting spree is the recent overpricing of the supply of a motor at Kenya shillings 11 million, while KPA sourced the same kind of motor at only 1.5 million from somewhere else. Another example is where the current KPA, through efficient measures, saved the port of Kenya shillings 700 million in the current financial year, as opposed to the year 2023-2024 year, when the two firms earned over 1.2 billion shillings from the port through overpricing and tender manipulation. Yes. and the total capture of the part supply business at the port by the two firms. The two firms have actually been over pricing their supplies between 5 to 10 times the market prices. We fully support the efforts of the KPMDA and its team in putting an end to the nefarious activities of this cartel, led by the entrepreneur warlords, Visual and Maina. The MD must continue the good work of dismantling the port cartels and creating playing field for all, including Mamambogas, Juakali operators and common Mwananchi, to also access the business opportunities at the port. It is instructive. This is what we call the bottom up, and this is what bottom up is all about. Streamlining port operations to allow even Mamambogas and the common Mwananchi to accept the business opportunities. Bottom up! Yes. Bottom up! Mwananchi?
Juu.
Mwananchi?
Juu.
It is instructive that under the current MD, KPA has scaled up its support for the local communities to unprecedented levels through its targeted corporate social responsibility policy measures, targeting education, the environment, and the community socio-economic support and empowerment. Under the current MD, KPA has achieved a performance beyond expectation by global standards. We all know the TEUs that the KPA has achieved under Captain Ruto. No other MD has achieved those TEUs in the history of the port.
Yes.
And therefore, the current MD of KPA, Captain William Ruto, is a performer. Is what? A performer. Captain Ruto is? Captain Ruto is? Captain Hoy.
Captain Hoy.
He's the performer. Yes.
We therefore call on the authorities, especially the head of civil service, to take measures to ring-fence the KPA from politically motivated manipulation and threats by cartels hell-bent on disrupting his operations.
Yes.
We warn Mr. Visual and Mr. Maina that their days of looting KPA are over, and they must desist forthwith from interfering in port operations. Failure to desist forthwith, we shall organize the mother of all demonstrations against them and their sponsors, godfathers and their entities.
Yes.
In addition to taking litigation measures against them to protect public interests at the port.
Yes.
Do we all agree on that?
Yes.
What happy?
No.
Captain Ruto happy?
No.
What board happy?
No.
What management happy?
Juu. Shigoli wapi?
Madam Shikoli. Madam Shikoli, you.
We can do a summary, we give a summary, then Mama Ambassa, then Nato, then the chairman of Bunge la Wananchi, then okay. We start with Magaka.
Nasirudia jenye
Summary form.
Yeah, what
Summary.
Performance na mambo ya cargo handling nini ongezeko hiyo.
Of course, when Captain Ruto took over the port, there were a lot of questions about the performance of port. By global standards, we must accept that port is not just a local entity. Port serves the whole world. And before Captain Ruto came on board, the performance was one thing. And even the TU turnovers were one thing. Now it has performed about 3 or 4 times more than it has been before. And even the port users, the international port users, the ship owners, the shipping agents know that even the waiting time for ships to dock and offload has reduced to almost nil under Captain Ruto. It's not just something to celebrate. And that is why we are saying those forces, retrogressive forces that want to take us back to the days when port was being used as a milk cow for some politically correct people are over. And Captain Ruto is dismantling those cartels and is ensuring the port is run efficiently and the public interest at the port, particularly the exchequer, is protected by all means. Therefore, we believe, and we as port users, we are ready to fight on his side to protect the interests of the public and the KPA, because KPA is a national facility.
Asset. Yeah.
KPA is a national asset,
Yes.
and the benefits that accrue from KPA is felt all over Kenya and even globally. And because of that, people of Mombasa, even communities, KPA is building classrooms, is supporting the fisher folk, is doing a lot of other things under their corporate social responsibility. And Captain Ruto has scaled that to a level that has never been seen. We have seen tree planting with him. We go with him into the mud to plant trees together. We have seen modern classrooms being built. We have seen communities being supplied with equipment and materials for that, and even the disabled people are being supported. Therefore, we are saying, those who want to interfere with the port, they will first do it over our dead bodies. And we are going to meet them on the street and in the corridors of the court. We are going to do it, and we are warning you.
And we are not afraid.
Next. Nato, Ambassador. Mama Ambassador next.
Kwa majina naitwa Bia.
Mama hoye. Mama Ambassador.
Sim. Yes, Sim. Yes.
Kwa majina ningependa kujiita kama Mama Ambassador. Mimi ni mkaaji wa Mombasa na bila mimi Mombasa hii hakuna, I'm the only lady. Kwani nikisema hivyo iko ndio kweli wa mambo. Sasa sisi tunasema vipi? Ino poti aachwe mwenyewe MD afanye kazi bila rururubu nyingi. Maana ino tafash nyingi kila mara kuchokora choko pesa binadamu pesa. Nani maneno alisemwa na Maenga? Mtu hawezi kufanya kazi ikiwa saa yote wataka kujua swali yake leo mbaya ndani ni ipi, wataka kujua kipindi kitoko sabudana kiwapi. Hasa ifanyiki hivyo. Hebu tumwake Captain Ruto. Sisi tuomba Captain Ruto kitu kimoja. Palipo na kosa asiogope. Maana yeye sio MD wa kwanza kwenye hiyo ofisi. Lazima tutetee pesa mambo, lazima tuombe babakia. Kwa hivyo ni yeye kama tunavyofanya sasa, sisi tunafanya hivi. Nakuta kwa mimi ni sawa kabisa. Bana poti si mtu mmoja wala si community moja, poti ni wa Kenya wote, not even ati ni Mombasa peke yetu. Ni watu wakati tunapokea kutoka Nakuru ama poti Nairobi pia iko poti. Ama Nairobi hakuna poti. Kisumu hakuna poti. Rwanda si poti iko, Lamu si poti iko. Hii saa yote wajua hata na shule kusema shule sema nini. Hawa ambao wanakuja na ino idea ya kutaka kumharibia mtu jina, tumie nawaambia shetani afanye nini? Ashindwe. Shetani afanye nini? Ashindwe. Na Mwenyezi Mungu afanye nini? Amgandamize, amtie jito lake limetonga.
Amshindilie.
Na ametonga sione tena maisha. Nato kama
Kizungu Kiswahili. Kizungu.
Wajua pote haiwezi kupigana mama. Juzi kulikuwa na mwanamke akiitwa Anjeri kama ukanikumbuka. Can you remember that? There was a woman pia alikuja na hiyo story akiitwa Anjeri. Where does that story go? Ilikuwa wapi mambo ya Anjeri? I'm asking the government. I'm asking Kenya. Where's that story went? Hiyo Anjeri. Alipelekwa mpaka ndani ya koti Anjeri. We saw in our TV that the billions of money ambazo ni wako kuuza mafuta. Alafu ilikuwa na wapi ile kesi? Amasiga. Sasa hii ni njia tu kutaka kumaribia mtu jina. Lakini sioni kama kuna maana yote. Sawa.
Pigie mama makofi. Capital hoye.
Hiyo simu yangu. Yes, Sim.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Michael Nato. I double up as a human rights defender, a person from the civil society, and also a supplier at KPA. And I want to give this discussion a human rights perspective. When we quote the Constitution in Article 227, Sub-Article 1, it says that any state organ or public entity shall devise a system that is competitive and cost-effective. These people that are fighting the administration at KPA don't want that aspect of competitiveness. because they are agents of the status quo who have benefited. Somebody, our friend here, has told us they have benefited from the 1960s. But now the captain, by following the law, because even in Article 227, Sub-Article 2B, it says that the people who have been discriminated in the past should be protected and should access these opportunities. Now when the captain devises a system where now we are supposed to get these opportunities as ordinary people, as PWD, as youths, some people out there are very uncomfortable. That's why they sponsor headlines that are malicious, headlines that are just a smear a campaign. If they have any issue against the MD or the GM procurement, let them go to court, because the law is very clear. When you go to section 20 in the Public Procurement and Disposal Act, it talks, part 7, it talks about the basic procurement rules. If there are any of the rules that have been broken, why don't you go to court? You cannot prosecute matters in the streets. That's why we are telling you to man up and do things in the legal manner. So we are here to say that we as the new entrants in the supplying space, things are just okay. Things are going smoothly. People are accessing those opportunities.
Yes, of course.
The billions of shillings that one individual company used to get, or 2 or 3, now they are being spread around. And we are not going to relent until we all be empowered, because it's our right.
Yes.
They have always been deceiving the public, but we are here to speak the truth. Jamaa hoye! Tunajipigania! For those few remarks, I thank you.